Hello, this is Deborah Yao with Black Education TV, and thank you, Brother Jerry, for sending me the story that Brother Phil covered, where these two thugs, thug ain't even a strong enough word for these two people. But anyway, they killed a sister over her taxes. This sister was talking about getting her tax refund with one of her co-workers. So this co-worker decided that she was going to arrange to have some other people show up and they were going to get her money from her. So this mother of two was killed, I'm going to say, by 3 black people. It doesn't matter if one person pulled the trigger. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. Somebody who she obviously thought she could trust, one of her co-workers, called 2 thugs, and they all decided that this woman deserved to die so that they can spend her money. But yet we have people in the so-called black community who think that we shouldn't talk about this mess, that we should coddle our people. You don't know what they've been through, or you don't know what kind of stuff they go. Nobody cares what they're going through when they decide that this woman deserves to die so that they can spend her money. See, we are loving our people to death. That's what we are doing. We expect all this love when all you get in return is a bullet in the head. This young woman lost her life. Her children lost their mother because of some people you all think we should coddle because they had a rough upbringing, because they don't know the truth. It's the curses. It's the curses. They don't know who they are. They don't realize that we're the... Nobody cares about that when they have to bury their loved one. All we hear are a bunch of excuses while other people have to go to a funeral. Like Brother Phil said the exact same thing that I have said countless times. Brother Phil from the Advice Show, for those of you who don't know who I'm talking about. What I have said countless times is that our people, we are a mess as a whole. And we don't like nobody telling us nothing about ourselves. We want to be coddled through our mess. We say that, oh, you're judging me. No, nobody's judging you. The Most High is going to judge you. We already see his judgment in the so-called black community because we don't think we should deal with this mess that's going on. Our people are hell-bent on destruction. Destroying ourselves, our own selves from the inside out. But you look at other people who call this mess out and you want us to shut up because you don't want to be reminded of the wickedness. You don't want to be reminded how low down and dirty some of our own people can be to each other. And it don't just have to be somebody pulling a trigger. It's all this other mess that comes from the black community, and it falls on other so-called black people. But you want others to shut up about this madness and this nonsense. You want others to shut up about it. For those of us who don't mind getting the backlash from others, it's time for us to cry aloud and spare not and lift up our voices like trumpets in Zion. We have got to show our people their transgressions because this stuff is getting out of control. And all we want to do is make excuses. No more with the excuses. As I think about this young woman and her children, they will not see their mother anymore. And the family of those who did this, nobody wants to see you in the camera talking about how rough the upbringing was, or he was a good young man and all this, that, and the other, or she didn't really want things to turn out this way. She was just... Nobody wants to hear any of the excuses that we hear, the typical excuses. Nobody wants to hear that. Right now, many of us are getting tired of seeing our people going through things and suffering because of what some other Negro decides they want to do to you. We're tired of the lies. We're tired of the coldness. There's a coldness that permeates throughout the black community. There is no love. And I'm not speaking as a whole. I'm just talking about in the so-called black community, there's so much coldness to where we can't even speak to each other. You speak to a black person, you might as well be speaking to a brick wall. The world sees this. They know it. We're supposed to be a light. We're not showing light. We're showing darkness when we do those kind of things. These other nations, they look at us, they point, they laugh, and they shake their heads. Because they see the foolishness and the nonsense that comes forth from the so-called black community. They see how we treat each other. They see how we love on other people, but we hate each other. And they build on that. We help them build on that. There comes a time where you have to say no to this nonsense. And as Brother Phil so often covers these stories, he covers many of the stories. I don't have time to cover all of them, but every so often I peek my head in on something that really gets me right here. A lot of the stories do. I'm just going to be honest with you, family. When I see this stuff, it really does. But I don't always have the time. This is garden and planting season for us. So believe it or not, we've been busy all winter long in the garden, getting things ready for the spring. Busy all winter long. Days that we have 60 or 70 degree weather, even 50 degree weather, and it's sunny and it's, feasible for us to go out. We go out and we do work in the garden. So I don't have time always to cover these stories, but when I do, I try to make the time. But anyway, Brother Phil covers a lot of these stories. And so we see what's happening in various regions of the country. We see how our people are just not good for each other. It seems like we're not good for each other. We do have small segments that are, but some of us are so far apart we can't get to each other. We're separated by states and hundreds of miles. But thugs and criminals and hateful people come a dime a dozen. And that is truly, truly sad, family. Truly, truly sad. The words that Claude Anderson echoed many times years ago. He spoke about how black people are finished in this country. No truer words can be spoken. He was absolutely right. And we see that happening right now as we speak. We're finished in this country. It's going to take divine intervention. That's what it's going to take. Because we have truly, truly gone backwards. We're not forging ahead. We are happy in this foolishness that we see in our communities. And so all we can really do, those of us who can catch a clue, is keep it moving. And leave everybody else in the dust. As the scripture says, shake the dust off your feet and keep it moving. And with that, I will say shalom.